All right, looks like I didn't stop the video. So, like I said, we're going to get to the jab. But look, before we go any further, go ahead and like and subscribe. And like I said, as we become better at this, as me and my staff learn how to do these videos, we're going to put together more comprehensive lessons. So go ahead and subscribe now so you can be on point with that. We're going to do it. We just got to see the response and how to work these videos and what you guys like. Obviously you guys are going to have to comment and let me know how to do this. So anyway, I'm going to run through. We're going to start with the jab. I'm going to show you how to do the jab first, but I'm going to show you all 6 basic punches first. So basically, you'll know how to throw them, because when you guys come to, we're going to do like live training sessions, any of that at some point, that's where we want to get to. But you guys have to be in shape. And the reason I'm saying you have to be is because let's just say a guy that's out of shape can throw 100 punches and then he's spent. A guy that's in shape can throw 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 in a training session. Who's going to learn more? The guy that has a tolerance and can throw punches all day, or the guy that says, all right, I'm going to take a break every 5 minutes. So get in shape. It's real important. And the way you're going to get in shape is endurance rounds. There's nothing more important in your boxing career than endurance rounds. I mean, in as far as conditioning. Yeah, I mean, technical skill, there's all kinds of different things, but I'm just talking about conditioning. Nothing's more important than that. I think that's I don't know, that might be a 150 bag. You get a heavy bag and you beat that mug to death as hard as you can. When you start out as an amateur, 3 rounds in a row, non-stop, hardest punches you can throw until the bell. And then you take a 30-second break and you get right back at it. We're going to get into that more when we start doing them in these videos, but I want you to know that's what's to come. And you do the best you can while you're trying to get in shape and advance with the video. So basically, I'm going to teach you the first 6 punches, the form that you should have on them, so that you can master that. So when you're doing your endurance rounds, you can put as much good form into it as you can. But I don't expect you to have great form your first 3 months. Just put the endurance work in so that we can get more repetitions and we can advance faster. No. So with the jab, we call it the 1. I'm gonna run through all of them real quick. 1 through 6. So the jab is a 1. The cross is a 2. The left hook is the 3. The right hook is the 4. The left uppercut is a 5, and then 6. If you go to a gym and somebody has different numbers than that, okay, it ain't nothing to start an argument about. But just know that's the fundamentals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So anyway, here we go. The 1. When you throw a jab, you throw the jab. There's several different ways. It's 3 major jabs that we work on in my gym all the time. It's more ways to throw a jab than what we just work on the most. But what we work on the most is what we think is going to get you there the fastest. And right now, we got a fighter who is ranked number 2 in the world, and one that's ranked in the nation, and number 15 in the nation, off of these principles. And matter of fact, our guy that's ranked number 2 in the nation, not to brag, but he has already beat the guy that's ranked number 1 in the nation outside of a ranked fight. So when you throw your jab, the first one we're going to learn is the stationary jab. You ain't got to go nowhere. You just right at your reach, right at your distance, and you just power out. Actually, I'm going to bring you in so you can see. I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit so you can see. So what we're going to do on the jab is we're going to be in our stance, knees bent, hands up. When we throw the jab, we're going to turn it out, and I'm going to turn it towards the camera first, and this is how it should land, just like that. You aiming to put the two big knuckles on your target every time. Don't take a break from that. Every time, aim for the big knuckles. Later on, like I said, you can cheat this. You could throw a little up jab and just land on your weaker fingers. But right now, we want to get them big knuckles so we can get as much energy on the target as we can. So when we throw our jab, we turn it, we twist it from straight when it comes off the head, start twisting. Boom. So it lands big knuckles. And what you want to do is this looks like a full lockout, right? But I'm not, because if I lock my arm all the way out, I'm going to hyperextend this elbow. So what I'm going to do is learn where I need to be at, and I will lock my arm right before it hits. Just lock it. All your muscles. Just learn to lock. Those locks are going to be very important for channeling energy, because energy works like this. It will dissipate at the path of least resistance. So if I'm coming through, we're just going to make up some numbers right off the head. If I'm coming through with 50 pounds of pressure, let's just say, let's go crazy. Let's just say I'm coming through with 5,000 PSI on this punch. Boom. But I got a limp wrist or a limp elbow or limp shoulder, or my hips are too relaxed. I'm not on the ground. My feet are not spread wide enough. I can't generate the right amount of power, because that energy is just going to dissipate here, 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 here. That's what makes some guys hit so much harder than other guys, because they understand how to lock right before they hit the target. You have to lock. And if you lock on point, that punch is going to be devastating. Other than that, it's what we call just a bug on a windshield shot, you know, pop shots. Just when you're just touching them without locking. Know the difference, and you can cheat these rules. But for now, we're going to turn the jab, big knuckles, and lock right before we hit the target. That little twist of your body, when you throw a punch, you don't have to when you practice, you want to over rotate and practice with a big rotation like that, because then you're working full range of muscles that are going to be helpful to you when you're generating power on your punches. So you can over exaggerate your twist. You can when you're throwing them. But when you're in a fight, you don't want to do that. You want to just a little turn. Because look, when you start that turn right there, just doing that, I weigh 200 some pounds. Just doing that, I started probably 100 pounds in motion. We're being scientific now. If I start 100 pounds in motion right there, and then I add my muscle on top of that, now we're doing some good math on power. So I started just moving. Just the movement of my body coupled with my arm strength has generated more power. So if I show you what an arm punch looks like, just like that, I'm throwing with my arm. I kind of, by nature, I want to turn, but look, that's just a muscle punch from the arm. This is from turning. You see the difference? So learning to turn your body into your punches and lock right before it hits the target is how you generate power. That's how you lift people up. Lock right before you hit the target. So that's the one. Jab. That's stationary. There's different ways to deliver this jab. So we're going to get into that real quick. So if you want to press the action with a jab and you got a guy that's being evasive, you can use what's called a pressing jab. You're going to hear shotgun jab, chopping jab. You're going to hear so many different words. So that's why I'm giving you the science. So we ain't just putting verbiage with it. I'm showing you what the difference. You don't even have to have a name for it. Just know that this is what you do. When you press in a fight, you can't reach them. You've got to use this front foot. See, the back foot stays planted so you can return the base, but the front foot comes up just a little bit. Don't lift it a foot off the ground or even 6 inches off the ground. You want to keep that thing on the ground, just lift it enough to slide it. Just enough to get there, because the higher you come off the ground, the more time it takes for you to get back on the ground, the more time it takes for your punch to land This bad timing. So the more concise you can be with your movements, more direct, straight to the point movements, straight down the pipe instead of looping, the better form you got, the quicker you are. Some guys aren't even as fast as they look. They just got great form, so it looks quick. So same with this jab. When we're out of range, we just want to take about a 6 to 8 inch step. We know we're 6 to 8 inches out. That gives us reaction time. We can move wherever we need to move, 6 to 8 inches out, and then strike in, step in behind that jab. And so when you step in behind that jab, you keep the back foot on the ground, but you still push with it. You use that back foot, push in. Anywhere you move as a boxer, you push to get there. I don't care if you're moving backwards. Watch, you push out with the front foot, push out, push in, push out. If you go this way, and that's another thing, we're going to get to movements, but you push wherever you go. If you move to the right, you step right. If you're moving to your right, you step you step your right foot first. If you're moving left, you step your left foot first and push with the other foot. Step that way, push with that foot. If I'm moving back, I'm lifting my back foot first and pushing with my front foot. If I'm moving forward, I'm lifting my front foot first and pushing with my back foot. So that's what we call shooting to your position. So if we're going to shoot to the jab, we shoot back out. Watch, front foot lands at the same time this jab lands. And my front foot has to land too, so I can shoot back out. Because the object is to not get hit. So I'm using the target and the floor, the timing to get out. So as soon as I hit the target, if I do hit the target, sometimes you're going to miss. But if I do hit the target, I'll return the base even quicker because now I'm pushing off of something with my hand and my foot. Same time, push off. So more jabs you land the right way off that pressing jab, the better off you're going to be. You don't have to have a bag. Go to the wall, stand next to you to get your distance, stand next to it, look at your shadow, and step and make that front foot tap as soon as your extended jab taps. Now I'm going to go back to what I meant by hyperextending. If you lock all the way out, you're going to take yourself out of the game. So you learn, right when it feels like you're out there, lock and pull back. And you put that foot timing right on there too. So tap as soon as you get there. I'm an old man, so I'm not making it look as good as it can look. At one point it looked, but so just remember that. That's the jab. Pressing jab. We're pressing the action. Trying to go get him. Now, another jab is the chopping jab. That's a jab with less of a tail than your pressing jab because you're going to be outside like Sugar Ray Leonard, moving around, popping that jab in there, but he can see it. He might not be able to react to it all the time because otherwise you would never throw it because it wouldn't work. So your opponent might not be able to react to the jab all the time, the pressing jab, but once he gets used to it, he can lower the percentage. So now you have to have another one. What jab can you use now? Now you can look like, okay, now you want to be a stationary fighter. You look like you're doing what we call welcoming. And instead of pressing the action, you act like you're waiting for it. But you maneuver yourself into position just like this. So if I'm out of position, now I look like I'm not on the balls of my feet. I look like I'm not getting ready to do nothing, but really I'm inching forward. As soon as I feel like I'm in range, I'm going to take a little fake lean back, look further away or closer than you are. At all times, be deceitful. So I'm looking like I'm further away, and then I just chop. I don't even move anything else but the jab. So now that jab is a slick, choppy jab that you can build off of inside. So usually you want to follow it up. If it lands, you see some guys, they do this. They make it too obvious, though. That's too obvious. Be sneakier than that. Just work it in there. Act like you ain't trying to do nothing, and then get there and know your inches. That is your chopping jab, shotgun jab by some coaches' terminology. Shotgun jab, chopping jab, whatever you want to call it. It's the flash jab. You flash. So that's number 2. And then now your number 3, another main one we work on. And like I said, all of this is up to the fighter, what type of fighter Now, I guess it ain't. It's up to nature what type of fighter you are. But this is what you do when you're a long fighter. It's called a retreating jab or evasive jab. So you're going to be acting like you don't want to fight, moving, and you're going to pop it. You keep moving. Muhammad Ali, keep moving around him while you're retreating. He's chasing you, and you're landing it. So you're not pressing the action. You're not standing still. You're moving backwards. It's just easy. Forward, neutral, and reverse. That's the 3 major jabs. But you're going to put a spin on it. If you're going forward, you might not want to go straight in. You might want to go forward and to the left, lateral forward. So instead of running. So you might want to go forward and to the right. Okay? So the major thing to understand is the foundation. If I'm neutral, my flashy jab works. I slip in, just pop him. The jab is the most fundamental and important tool that you're going to have in the bag. Any fighter. I don't care what kind of fighter you are. The jab is the most, everything builds off of it. I used to have coaches tell me, jab is important, but they never showed me. So you play around because they'll tell you the jab is the most important punch and then tell you, throw some hooks, So then you forget to jab, then hook. Anytime your coach tells you, I want you to put that right on him, that right hook on him, what he's telling you is off the jab. Work off the jab. Pick a jab. If the guy's just standing in front of you, obviously you could select any jab you want. But if he's retreating, you got to learn the pressing jab, which means I press the action, see which way he's going, set him up, make him move left or right, and then hook him. So don't just go out there and bomb a hook and then you lose the fight because you got countered and you say, I threw the hook you wanted. Well, you have to work off the jab. That's common sense to coaches, but sometimes they forget to tell their fighters that. So it's common sense. What's common sense to me, I forget sometimes, is not common sense to him. So I tell him to throw a hook. He might think he don't have a jab, half the jab. So I'm telling you now, if I tell you I want you to throw a hook, or your coach tells you he wants you to throw the right hand, he's telling you to work off the jab, but look for the right hand. Remember that. If he says throw the right uppercut's there all day, what he's saying is work it. Work the right uppercut. And how you work it is off your jab. So never give up on the jab. You can win a fight with just a jab. You can probably Google this, but there's fights out there. Arturo Gatti, Meldrick Taylor. These guys have went whole fights, and you won't see significant right hands come off of them because they had injuries, and they would just use the left. Even Mayweather, I think, had one. Yeah, Mayweather had one. I think it might have been. Look, everybody said he got knocked down because he hit somebody, and he messed his hand up, and he went down a little bit like he was hurt, but it was really the hand that was hurt. So he didn't mask it well. So he went to working with the left. It was a boring fight, but he won it off the jab. So you can win off the jab. What you can't do is win without the jab. You can't. You might be able to beat this guy or that bum, but when you get in there with a good fighter that has a jab and you don't have one, you lose. You're not going to win. You can't. So work your jab until your shoulder falls off. I mean, when it starts hurting and burning, go put some water on it and come back. Just don't injure it. You know what I mean? Just give it the business until that thing is shoddy, snappy. If you got a slow jab, work it. Anything can be fixed on this bag and that bag. So work it. Don't give up on your jab because it's slow. I got a fighter right now. You guys can watch him on YouTube. Action Jackson. He got longer arms than everybody he fights, but he don't like the jab because he don't feel the power in it. Quit looking for power. The last fight he knocked this dude out in, I told him, don't look for power. I want you to look for skill. I want you to just touch him. Touch him every time you can touch him until you get it dialed in. So the secret is dialing a guy in. Anybody can go out there and just throw haymakers and try to be a brute, But the guy that dials you in first and has the most skill always wins if he doesn't get a lucky knockout, if the opponent doesn't get a lucky knockout. You can watch it. They look lopsided sometimes. Sam Solomon, those guys will come out, boom, 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 and it looks like they're going to win. And then all of a sudden they get knocked out in like the 8th round. That's because the other guy wasn't subscribing to all that haymaker shit. He was dialing you in. He was trying to figure out what this guy likes to do. How does it feel? Where can I get him? And then he dialed it in and he got you. Tank does that. That's why he starts slow. He starts cautiously. He acts scared. And that's how I want my fighters to be. I want you to fear nothing but be scared of everything. Don't make no sense until you become a fighter. Now, with that jab, we're going to put a 2 on the end of it. The 2, the way we do this, it's a training method. Touch your face after every punch. Touch your face. Just bring them back and touch your face. So if you throw a 1, boom, your right hand touches the face. You throw a 2, boom, your left hand touches the face. You got to make sure the punch lands good and the hand touches the face. Boom, boom. Throw a hook, same thing. Touch the cheekbone. Remember where we at? When we throw hooks, we cheekbone. When we throw 1-2s, we up here, high guard. 1, 2, we up high. 1. See how high I am? 1, 2. Now when I move in behind this 1, 2, 3, watch where my hands go. Boom, boom. See? Bring them up. Boom, boom. You can't see the left hand. Let me go over here. So watch my left. Boom, boom. I came up into this guard now. So I'm going from here. Make that second nature to you. That's how you avoid punches on the way in. Sometimes when you come in behind your jab, you don't want to jab and just keep this right here. Look at this guy. If I jab right here, he's got a hand over here. He could come across the top of my jab and hit me. So sometimes what I want to do is bring it a little bit further in front of my vision. Just be tricky. Now what? What's he got? I'm covering myself for the hook and the sneaky jab coming in. Different angles. That's just more advanced shit. That's cheating the rules. So now we're going to go through all 6 of them again. Boom, boom. When I throw my 2, and I don't know if I said this in the jab too. Let's get technical real quick. When you throw your 1, chin should be in this shoulder, looking straight at your opponent. When that jab lands, you should be looking straight at your opponent. Your shoulders should be touching your chin. When you throw your cross, you trade spots. Boom. You don't change your head spot though. I mean, you move your head off the line, but you don't do. I got a lot of fighters that like to do this when they throw their punches. I tell them, move your head off the line, and they'll go like this. You don't want to do that because when you move too far out of position, you have to get back into position. Good fighters don't let you back in position. They look for you to get out of position, and they handle their business when you're out of position. So they won't let you. So what you want to do is just a little bit of head movement. See, if I can get on the line, I'll show you. So if I'm throwing the left, head here. When I throw the right, I'm going to move my head right there. Just a little bit. But see, I'm still keeping my shoulder close. When you throw your hook, same thing. Because what you do when you throw that jab is that puts to bed any right hooks coming at you. That's not happening. He throws a right hook to the body. That's easy. That's leg work. That's just a jump back. You can act like you're bowl training. So shoulders in the chin. Boom. Not all the way locked out. And when you trade positions, it's just a turn of the upper body. Look, just like that. Just like this. Don't lean. Turn. Just turn. Get some of that movement going. Just like that. Now, we're going to get onto the 3s and 4s later on. I'm going to cut this video a little bit short right now because I'm going to get on my endurance rounds. Remember what I want you to do. I want you to do 3-minute rounds of endurance. And I'm not going to show you mine because I'm old and my time, and I'm not going to be a world champion. You are. So 3-minute rounds. One more thing though, real quick. I want to show you guys something. Depending on what type of fighter you want to be, you see this bag here? See that bag don't like to move. No matter how hard you hit it, it don't like to move. This one, when you hit it, it's gone. This bag helps you with your wheels. So you're learning to fight moving and fight. When it comes at you, you should be moving out the way. When it comes at you, you learn to turn. That's what this bag's good for. That bag don't swing fast enough to do that. That's why they're both here. This makes a different type of fighter. We call this Jack Dempsey. This right here, power bag. You learn it to lock and slip. Power, but it don't move. That's why it's over there in the corner. This builds your coordination a little bit better than that bag. Because you got to move with your feet. You got to move. You got to fight with your feet. If this bag hits you, you lost. You lost. Any round, it can never hit you. Sometimes when you get like me and lazy and it swings at you, you have to act like you counter punch. That's a counter punch, so it didn't really hit me, but it's being lazy. Working like I told you. I'll see you next time.